Unmuted.
Ba, ba,
All
ba,
right,
ba.
we did it.
We got there!
Okay. Yeah. So not sure what happened, but we are in the game now. Welcome everybody to game 2 between Rising Tide Typhoon and the Purple Sprouts. Yeah, we with a little bit of technical difficulties. The bot is, we pray to our overlords, the AI overlords, that everything goes well, and we just hope for the best. And so far, it seems okay.
Yeah.
Uh, it just took a little bit, had to figure itself out. Who doesn't?
I
Who
prayed to
doesn't?
Garth's Baron, Baron, train stealing mustache, and it worked.
Yeah,
I'm
it
whispering.
it did sure diddly work. But yeah, so far there was a little bit of an interesting start as they go in to get a ward, but other than that, nothing too ambitious for either team as they just go for a pretty standard slow start here. Both junglers starting topside, looking to focus on the bot lane with their ganks, and Udyr is doing some quite interesting pathing, knowing his red has been warded.
I mean, it's all part of the plan we just made up, right? Guster Posey does have a lot more assistance going into this game for those ganks than he did last game, because Kobita is playing Rakan, who is a little bit more dive heavy and will force people to be more paying attention to him than last game when they were on the Annie. So I'm expecting to see a lot more moments that Guster Posey is able to sneak in on the off end of those W's. But we're seeing a lot of, actually, this looks exactly like Eureka and Yika's start last game. Eureka just being super willing to play all the way back and hang out, as first gank not going the way of Purple Sprouts as intended, unfortunately.
Yeah, Guster Posey wanders in to a ward, gets spotted out, and just sort of gets stopped there. Again, the pathing is really interesting. Peakley will have the tempo advantage in the jungle just in terms of farm, but Udyr cleans up the camps really quickly, so it's not a huge deficit, especially since now Guster Posey's kind of pivoted to just look towards the top side and is going to be up there to potentially help Yikaw get something done onto Eureka, get that set a lead like we saw in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Yikaw was able to play from a pretty big deficit and still end up being a star player last game. So if we're able to accelerate that set just a little bit, could be absolutely monstrous later. And
Oh man, the
those,
lane gank, good concept, but the ward was just still
yeah.
there. They see it there. At least they saw that the ward existed so that they are not wasting their time. Peakley is able to get out there, get the scuttle crab, and keep the tempo rolling. But now both junglers are going to be matched in farm. Eureka is going to get traded onto by Yikaw, throwing out the obliterate, but not a whole lot coming out of it, as just everything feels a little slow right now as we're just trading fairly evenly. Vision stopping these ganks in their tracks, and the junglers are kind of just moving around, looking for anything to do.
Yeah, they're both going to the soup store real quick and finding out that the shelves are empty. And unfortunately for Peakley, they did clear their side faster as well as stuck to their top side to begin with, so they're going to have to wait a lot longer on this Gromp. But I have a sneaking suspicion that they're willing to wait for that Gromp and then just continue to spend another minute or two here waiting for this wave bot lane to push back out into the favor of Rising Tides just as far as those ganks go.
Yeah, it's always, just waiting. It's the waiting game right here, and Eureka's not waiting for anybody. Oh, the movement, the interesting flashes right there. Eureka gets out of the auto attack range from Yikaw. There was an entirely lethal fight going on, and I didn't even really acknowledge it until it was already over. And Eureka getting that first blood onto Yikaw once more. And this time it was all alone, didn't even need backup. And that's always good for Mordekaiser.
I mean, Eureka just does a little dancey dance. That's how last game went as well. Just do a little dancey dance. Yeehaw gets confused and ends up going down a couple times, feeling a little bit silly in the whole kerfuffle. But yeah, that's actually going to be Odysseus, the first one to leave the lane, get those boots, and now they have a little bit of power to start roaming with the jungler. That little bit of extra movement speed goes a long way. Overrush is playing a very safe champion with that Caitlyn to be able to stay outside of a county mile from the forces of Purple Sprouts.
Yeah. Overrush able to avoid the engage here. There is a flash available for Kobita. They may attempt to look for it, but as Odysseus is back on the map, okay, they do get the knockup right there with the grand entrance, but Dilly goes for the flash. He auto attacks a minion and gets exhausted, and Overrush is safely away, and Piclay has arrived. Dilly is going to try and trade back. One auto away from death, but Overrush stays alive, and Dilly falls. Guster Posey arrives just in time to spin his little phoenix wings, but not able to get a whole lot else done. A gank there from Piclay gets a kill onto this Hecarim. Now they're going to fight over a Scuttle Crab, which goes to Piclay. And Guster Posey could be in a little bit of danger. Warming up Piclay is the knockup
Oh!
from Odysseus is insane. Piclay's going to be stuck under the tower. He may actually just die here, and he does. But it goes over to Kobita. Piclay knew he beefed that a little bit, but he will absolutely take 2 kills there. That body slam from Odysseus was insane.
Yeah, I think he owes Odysseus a drink after that play.
And
Um,
Odysseus got plenty. He's playing Gragas.
got a little bit of grog in their step here. But yeah, no, that's what you need to see at all times. And that body slam is really good for when Kobita looks to go in later too. So getting these moments where they can just practice that timing, saying no, 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 right here, bud, is going to be for their betterment as we're seeing the game slow back down. This time, though, Guster Posey goes for the Swifties, which I think they definitely needed last game, being able to just be confident and run around the fights that little bit faster to make sure they could actually get onto people before. So I'm happy to
Mhm.
see them make that adjustment for this game.
Well, you know what would also allow you to run a little bit faster? It's
Ghost.
actually a decision that you can, yeah, it's a decision you can make in Champ Select as you go Ghost. I feel like every time I've seen Flash on Udyr, it is followed up by somebody typing in chat, "Ah, crap! I took the wrong summoner spell." Uh, I I cannot say I understand the theory. We do not live in a society where we have to Flash Bear Slap to do our engages. We have other tools. We have the technology to where we do not need the Flash Bear Slap on Udyr anymore. But we do have an engage here. Overrush gets the cleanse out from the Varus ultimate. That is a great disengage, but the stun will still come through. The double tap goes in, and Overrush gets burnt away by the Phoenix Storm. And Guster Posey picks one up for the side of Sprouts.
I mean, that's a really well timed cleanse, immediately getting out of the chain of corruption into a well placed explosive cast from Odysseus. But we're just seeing there's so much getting piled on that in spots like those where Overrush doesn't have flash, they
Peaklay's
can't
getting a
be
kill
safe
here.
forever. They're just gone as
Peakley,
oh
yeah. Yeah, Peakley is going to be going in right here, but the charm comes in. Kobita stops the assault from going any further with the quickness, and Dilly stays alive. That was a good idea from Peakley, but just does not have the damage quite yet with only the Sheen.
yeah, not quite enough damage, but a good spot now with the bot lane of Purple Sprouts going to be resetting to
Oh.
get that Infernal as we're seeing a bit of a fight break out mid. That's a good flash from
Oh.
Zavar. Oh!
Oh, wait. All you're doing is giving Gerbs
Oh!
time to wait for cooldowns as Var doesn't get the lock under tower that maybe they were hoping for. They respect the with the flash, but it does not matter because Akali has so many dashes, so many mobility tools, and Zvar gets taken out in a solo bolo, and Gerbs is looking to run it from here.
Yeah, I'd like to also point out that Guster Posey does trade the Shelly for that Infernal Drag and
Mm,
is continuing to sit in P-Clay's jungle, potentially looking to set up for Yeehaw to get hyper accelerated off those plates. No, backing after doing a little shopping instead.
mhm.
Never mind. But they're in a much better spot this game than they were last game. I think at this point last game, we saw Guster Posey had a Blasting Wand and Merc Treads.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a little bit more in his pocket this time. Still has not quite completed the Demon Helm, but he will definitely have it before the next Drake, which will give him quite a bit of power for that fight. And especially if he crashes this Herald, that will almost definitely be Demon Helm right there if they get a couple plates off of it. So Guster Posey's going to be looking for that. He's going to be a lot stronger at this second Drake. We do have the Chain of Corruption coming out. The quickness is coming in. The knockup's going to go down. Overrush is trying to stay alive. The flash comes in from Dilly, but it's just not enough. And the damage trades back. The ace in the hole gets stopped, but the horse in the hole gets the kill. Is that is
Here's that ghost.
Varys going down right here. P-Clay is going to pop the ghost, but Kobita is safe under turret. Guster Posey in a little bit of danger right here. Gerbs is going to take it, going to get stunned up, and here comes the slow field. Going to burn Gerbs just a smidgen, but no further damage will come down. So that's just a kill picked up by P-Clay. Another one. This horse is going to be looking to absolutely run this game over.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier, Divine Sunder, we don't care for a little bit slow. The amount of damage that Hecarim gets with just that item, as well as we're getting close to a fully stacked tier, so that Muramana is going to be in tow soon after. This is a terrifying spot to be in for Purple Sprouts. There's not much you can do when Peakley gets this far accelerated if you're using all of your engage to grab Overrush. You don't have much to be able to slow down the unstoppable onslaught of Peakley when they're wanting to run all over your ADC and just walk the rest of the way over the man bear pig and move on with their life. But we have a couple minutes before objectives happen,
Hmm.
so we can figure out what we want to do.
Yeah, they've got some time to think about what they're looking to do here. As we've got 2 minutes on the Drake and a little bit of time on the next Shelly's spawn. So we're just kind of waiting to see. Yeah, 3 minutes on Shelly, 2 minutes on Drake. So we've got time to think about our life choices right here. In the top side, Yeehaw is thinking about his life choices, playing the set right here. Going down 1-0 early allowed Eureka to get that Bramble Vest pretty quick. And these trades have been so lopsided in favor of Eureka right here, especially when Yeehaw wanders into stray obliterates that get isolated damage. We do have the Herald drop. This is going to be a good gold influx for Svar. We're not putting that in Peaklay's pocket. Or not Peaklay. We're not putting that in Yikaw's pocket. We're putting that in the Svar. Uh, Not sure if that will be the best choice you can make, but it is still a choice. Looking at the gold, I'm taking a peek at that myself. Udyr does have enough gold to pick up that Demon Helm on his next recall. I believe P-Clay is close or
That
at
is
the gold
Leandri's.
needed. Uh, Leandres
Yep.
for.
There's
Yep.
Leandri's
Okay. Yep.
Anguish coming out
Yeah.
for Svar.
Oh, that's actually huge then. That's a really smart Herald. That's two pretty big item spikes for Guster, Posey, and Svar if Guster actually decides to recall, but it's the Udyr problem of I can clear every camp so quickly and then I just never recall. So
I mean,
we'll.
that's probably going to be biting them right now since
Oh, the Drake's
this is
coming up.
dragging in less than 30 seconds. Yeah. And we just saw Peakley got their Divine Thunder. Overrush has their Gale Force. So now it's going to be even easier for them to get out of some of these deep engages when that explosive cast comes out from Odysseus to get them out of jail with a headshot primed. So this might be the end of Dilly as that horse is going to get
Ooh.
running, and that's an exhaust pop before this fight. That's actually huge for Rising Tides here.
Yeah, if Peakley can get on that backside without the exhaust there to stop him, he will go brazy. in this fight. GURPS has found a flank angle. They lack critical information, and Guster Posey's going to be in a bit of danger. He's going to get busted away. The explosive cast gets him to safety, but he is going to just get run down here. GURPS tags him with a 3-point strike. Guster Posey walking away, gets the smite, gets that little bit of movement speed to finish himself away. Get himself just that little bit of distance, but because Guster Posey has been zoned off, the second Drake will be going for the side of Rising Tide.
Yeah, and that's a Hextech dragon. These are two of my favorite dragons to get if you're going to have them as one slots. And Chem Plants blooming. This is huge. If we're going to be seeing Rising Tides continue this high tempo gameplay with Peakley really just controlling the map with the lead that they have on Hecarim, we could see a very quick soul coming out this game. And Purple Sprouts is in a really rough spot to try to catch up with, as we're going to be seeing the chain of corruption not
Go,
making contact.
yeah, goes wide. The Gale Force keeps Overrush safe, but the quickness is going to not be. Yeah, the quickness is going to come out. The knockup's going to come through, but the Grand Entrance does not do a whole lot for the team in terms of getting things done, but it does stop the assault. In the mid lane, we see that turret go down, and in the bot lane, a turret is responded with. So a lot of structure is getting taken down here. Two going over to Purple Sprouts as Yeehaw actually took down top turret.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just set things the way that these top lane matchups have been going. Yikaw has snuck out first turret both games now. If I remember correctly,
Yeah,
they were able to sneak it out for the Yorick, and they were able to sneak one this game. That's pretty solid to be able to play from behind, still be able to get those objectives for the team gold, as they do have the Blade of the Rune King in their pocket now, so they can start doing some pretty massive damage in their matchup. But that's a Rylai's in the hands of Eureka. Once they get you in the realm, there's no going back, as we're seeing a little bit of a fight around Shelly potentially blooming. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to bloom a little bit, but it does not finish its growth as Guster Posey realizes, okay, I can't really contest that right now. We don't have the damage. We don't have just we don't have enough stats right now to fight this Hecarim. This horse is huge. And they were just in better position right now. Peakley is going to be in position right here. The quickness is I guess it's nice looking. You know, yeah,
I
we get to
mean,
hear Rakan shout his famous phrase, "Can't stop me." And that's
body
about it.
slam.
The body slam was very good there from Odysseus. The Odysseus has been piloting this Gragas so well. You don't often. Okay, never mind. We do have a fight coming out right here. Peakley is going to be going in on the back, trying to respond to Guster Posey. Posey double taps R. Going to get some damage out here, but it's going to get locked in the cage with Eureka. The Obliterate goes wide, but it does not matter. And yeah, Yeehaw is going to be in the front, going to get taken out after he does a little super backflip. Double flashes Trey, but the slow will land on the Dilly, and that's just going to picked up by the Caitlyn Q, and P.
Mhm.
Clay rides on in, strides on through, and cleans up the last kill to get an ace for Rising Tide.
That's huge. Let's look at that intro for a second. Quickness early on to be able to try to do anything for Purple Sprouts. Immediately denied by Odysseus with the body slam. Cool, great. We have that under control. But then we see Guster Posey, Dilly,
Wandering in.
Kobita all try to wander in, and another really well placed explosive cask from Odysseus, completely splitting everyone up, leaves Kobita on their lonesome for Peakley to rip them apart. We had the teleport come out from Eureka to be able to toss one in the Shadow Realm and move on with their life. This is a very dominant play so far from Rising Tides, as we're seeing these skirmishes break out, and
Ooh.
the explosive cast gets the Purple Sprouts to safety. But I honestly think Rising Tides could do Baron now if they got a pick or two.
Yeah, the Baron is up, and they have a lot of damage. They have a lot of pressure. There just isn't quite enough for the other side. We do have an on-hit Varus this game. He has picked up the Bork here. Guster Posey still on the Demon Helm and looking to get that Jack Show, but will he even be able to get it? Is the question. 5,000 on the Baron. We're waiting to see if they can even approach. Svar is aware that something is happening. They're aware that things are going on. They're going to lock up Gerbs. They're going to take one, but it is one for something right here as the fight continues. Piclay is on the backside. He's going to look for Svar. Kobita goes down, but Piclay is shredding through that back line in the Death Realm. Eureka sends Guster Posey to an even further death. Yikaw goes in, gets the showstopper on to Piclay, taking down the horse, but it is not enough. Is that it's going to be another ace going over to Rising Tide as just Purple Sprouts overstay their welcome and get punished.
Yeah, very. I think they had the right idea the moment that Gerbs went in to drop the Nether Grasp, just to have their eyes right on them so they don't have time to shroud away or anything like that. Just keep them locked down. But I don't think they needed to put the quickness in when they did to continue to chain that CC together. I think they would have been fine with just the stun from Guster Posey and letting the damage rain in at this point. But they committed the extra ultimate and got punished for it in the end. We also saw the Chain of Corruption only on Odysseus.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of value that was just left up in the air that could have potentially saved them a couple of deaths if it didn't get them an extra kill. And we'd be seeing a very different position. But right now, Rising Tides, they're just going to start throwing their wallets at Purple Sprouts at this point.
Yeah, this is an pretty close to an 8K gold lead. I'm an English teacher, not a math teacher. Don't judge me. I think it's close to an 8K gold lead right now,
Yeah,
and
7.3.
yeah, 7.3. It's pretty sizable here. Every player, aside from Gerbs, has an enormous.
Oh,
Nobody saw that. Anybody watching,
about to go flex, I
pretend
guess.
pretend you didn't see it. They weren't even on a ward. They didn't even showcase their golden status to anyone. They're gonna wander in with
It's for the
the
viewers
broken
back home.
stopwatch. Okay, Piclay is gonna go in. He's gonna be using the QSS right here, but he's gonna get taken out pretty quickly. Guster Posey gonna be locking up Odysseus right now. Overrush, however, is free firing, and Eureka has found a flank with that TP. He's obliterating the
Ooh.
opposition. Dilly's doing what they can, but they get pulled into the death chamber, into the death realm. And the ace in the hole will find its mark as Guster Posey takes the damage of that ace in the hole. Gets forced away. Yikaw looking to try and get something done, but Gerbs gets that first shuriken. Looking for the backflip, does not decide to take it. But the siege continues in the mid lane. This Mordekaiser's going crazy. Eureka, we thought Eureka was impressive last game. Here's Eureka on a champion that's strong in the early game. Who mama?
Yeah, Eureka has piloted it very well, but I think we've seen just this common theme both games of Rising Tides. Someone has a flank. If it's not Gerbs, it's usually been Eureka, and Piclay is just shoving themselves down everyone's throats. As we're seeing
Oh, good
Odysseus
night.
almost able to get this pick onto Guster, but
Oh, good
Ramsey out of
night,
the way.
Dilly. Oh no! Dilly wanders into a horse. Piclay, gotta say, good taste on the skin. That's my favorite Hecarim skin. Is Yikaw is gonna get the big haymaker right there, but not nearly enough damage as Guster Posey is gonna go down. The burn's gonna be in, but it's just not enough. Piclay's healing and damage reduction on the W is enough to keep him alive and keep him safe. Just more kills going down, more flashes getting burned with each flash, with each summoner spell, each priority safety tool taken away is a win for Rising Tide, and Purple Sprouts cannot find any sort of victories here. Just losing back to back to back, and now Yikaw gonna be forced to showstopper in, but in the death chamber, the haymaker hits no one, and Eureka is burning through the rest of the Purple Sprouts. Gets taken down by the Malefic Visions. Now Overrush in a bit of danger. We do see the stun. We do see the shot down coming through. Odysseus is going to be still alive right now, dodging the knockup with his body slam, and now Peakley has arrived. Support has come, and Guster Posey is going to try and get away. Kobita goes over the wall with the quickness. The explosive cast comes through, but it's not really a whole lot with the knock up there. Here comes the body slam. Kobita going over the wall. The quickness stays through, but Gerbs has found an angle, and it's just going to help Peakley clean it up. Another ace taken down, but here comes a TP from Yikaw, as Odysseus could be in danger, but he gets away. Yikaw can't find anyone, and it's just Rising Tide just playing with their food right now.
Yeah, I would like to point out a little bit of a build shift coming out from Geekaw, going for the Heart Steel instead of the
The
Gorgebreaker this game.
The Bart steal. Okay, interesting.
Bart Steel, yeah. Into this comp where it's pretty hard to punch an Akali.
Yeah, it is. It's a challenge. It can be charitably called not easy. Uh it's unfortunate. I don't know if Heartsteel was the move, but I guess what is the move when you're this far behind, right? Anything can look disastrous when you are just so far behind. We are at 12k in favor of Rising Tide as Purple Sprouts are looking for anything. Zvar wanders into Eureka, gets pulled into the Death Chamber. No Nether Grasp. Okay, Nether Grasp is there, but it does not matter. He's getting burned there. But here comes a fight. Gerbs gets on the backside. He gets exhausted. He's going to get taken down. But on the front, it does not matter. The HP bars are huge, and so is Peakley. He does get knocked up. He does get shut down by Kobita. Guster Posey's going to be next on the list. Getting busted out by Eureka. Dilly is trying to stay alive, walking away. Kobita getting a little bit of CC down. This Mordekaiser is the final boss right here, and he is furious. Taking another one for himself as Odysseus dashing over the wall. So tanky, does not care about anyone in this game other than himself and maybe his teammates if they're lucky. Just, whoo boy. Another inhib going down. The gold lead continues to widen, but no lethal blow has been dealt.
Dilly, however, does have Immortal Shield Bow now. So they're going to be a little bit less sad as they continue to get dove by Peakley and Gerbs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the safety that they desperately need as we see Odysseus doing a little dancey dance on the ward. Just be a little bit BM as they're going to start this fight around Chemtech. But that's not the health bar you want him to be on to start this off.
Okay, we see the double tap going out to just get a stun down, but there's no follow-up right here. There's nobody to respond. It's going to be Hextech taken down, and now Guster Posey's going to try and get stuns out, but on the backside, Gerbs has found a flank, just not getting enough damage in. Svar's going to get taken out by Peakley. Now Gerbs is going to just work with Peakley. These backside brawlers are obliterating their competition, and in the Death Realm, Yikaw loses one last 1v1 in the Death Chamber. 2 go in, and one has always come out on top as Eureka, 13-2, walks into the base with the rest of Rising Tide as they look to wash away the rest of Purple Sprouts' base.
Yeah, it's starting to look like it's just going to be game. Kobita does not have the quickness up to be able to stop things. Even if they do respawn in time, there's just so much damage on it. And it is a 2-0 for Rising Tide.
Yeah, 2-0 for Rising Tide right there. Absolutely a dominant performance from the roster there. We really saw those carries. Yeah, we saw those carry players have a carry performance. It's just, whew. You like to see it.
And yeah, we were talking about this comp just kind of being a run it back, and unfortunately very similar results, but their carries having no movement abilities into Gerbs on Akali, into Peakley on Hecarim, and even you can talk about it being Eureka on Mordekaiser. Not having movement of any sort on some very squishy characters is a death sentence right now.
Yeah, it is a death sentence indeed. Don't even need the Thresh for that one to make the death sentence go through. It is already just guaranteed. Not not a horrendous effort from Purple Sprouts. I think considering how far behind they were putting up a formidable defense. They found some good picks. They were able to take out maybe 1 or 2 people in these fights, but they just kept losing trade after trade after trade, and it just compounded on itself for so long that at the end of the day, it didn't matter. They
Sure.
could, even if they traded 1, they got 1, they trade 4 for it in the end. So it is just a little bit of a showcase of kind of the weakness of what Purple Sprouts are drafting, but also just kind of, draft isn't the be all end all of the game. Rising Tide just played so well. They found every flank they could. They were in sync with those engages, with both Gerbs and Heclay running over the back line in every single fight. Eureka pulling out the right target at the right time to keep the rest of the team safe. Just really great coordinated play from Rising Tide, and what we expect to see from them.
Sure. And not to mention Odysseus, with his explosive casks, 99% of the time, they were incredible. Other times he tossed a couple of members away to safety, but for the most part, he was really good about placing them to isolate members like Kobita away from the team so they can't be as slippery around. And we saw that lead to Piclay just running amok. And Eureka even was able to sit in the middle of 3 members of Purple Sprouts in one of those fights, just hanging out, duking it out in a bush, while the rest of his team ran Purple Sprouts' pockets. And that's the power of giving Mordekaiser a cookie.
Yeah, Mordekaiser, you give Mordekaiser a cookie, he takes your entire base. Much like Yorick, just, a little bit different
path to
in
get
that.
there.
Well, it's a different path to get there. But yeah, with that said, great work from Rising Tide today. Great showcase of the team. They end the day now still undefeated at 5-0. Purple Sprouts will go down to 3-2, dropping into solidly 3rd place, waiting on the results from Whooper's match against GG, who are Going Ghost. The match between Going Ghost and Whooper will sort of decide whether or not Purple Sprouts will sit in their 3rd place, or they will, they'll stay 3rd place. But will they be tied with Whooper is the question after today's match. It's kind of what we're looking for with that group. The other group, however, looking pretty interesting. Still, we have Dayspa and To The Moon looking very formidable. Stunned as well has a good record, but that is just sort of an overall look. Next week will be our last week of the regular season, the last chance for these teams to get the important wins they need. And Rising Tide, they get a week off. They actually have a bye week next week, so they end their season undefeated on a win. They're raking it in. I can hear P-Clay, typing at his keyboard right now all of the great messages that hopefully will not get him banned. Don't get yourself banned, P-Clay. Take care of yourself. That aside, good luck to the Purple Sprouts next week. Hopefully they can bring it back around and get into a good position for playoffs. With that said, that'll be the end of our broadcast today. Is there anything you would like to say, Loki? Would you like to, plug anything for yourself?
Yeah, no, outside of casting, I am a game developer. I'm currently for uni working on a game called Ashes to Ashes. Keep your eyes out on the horizon for that. You'll be playing a character called Quinn Del Ramo, an undead gunslinger looking to enact revenge on their old right-hand man. I do believe my producer finally has it up on Steam, and I'm always excited to be able to talk about this project because it's been an absolute whirlwind, and the team has treated me quite well. But as always, thank you, Victorious, for having me. It's always fun to do a little bit of the big brain breakdown and see what memes come out of it,
Yeah, somebody's gotta have a big brain here, and that's not me. I'm clicking
Yeah.
buttons. The
My
AI, I'm fighting a computer today, and
Yeah.
that's me.
Sometimes the
Uh,
computer wins though,
yeah,
and you know,
I'm kind of nowhere. I tweet. I cast occasionally. I tweet occasionally.
yeah.
Other than that, I actually streamed yesterday, and the quality was not terrible. So I may do
Nice.
more of that, but probably not. I keep saying I'm gonna stream, and then I just don't. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there is one thing we do have to plug, and that is, of course,
Bum, bum.
procomps.gg. We are at Victoris, partnered with procomps.gg, these amazing folks who are offering you a tool to bring not just your games, but this entire split to the next level. Procomps is a powerful drafting tool for League of Legends players to provide a competitive edge before the game starts. You may remember plenty of times where you lost the game in Champ Select, picking a bunch of AD champions in the Malphite or Rammus and just
Okay.
losing from the jump. But with Procomps, you can have this product help you improve your drafting skills and avoid that kind of disaster from happening again. With Procomps, you can find the best champions to play at any point during the draft, review your team's strengths and weaknesses, and get many other crucial insights regarding team compositions. After the draft, you can check the summary page Procomps provides and see which lanes you should focus on in the early game and understand the objectives and priorities. Procomps is even integrated into ProDraft, so you can easily use it during your scrims. Procomps are also now on Overwolf and 100% free. Be sure to check out Procomps today to give yourself a competitive advantage before your game even begins. That is procomps.gg, or you can type !Procomps in chat if you want to find that link. Once again, thanks to our partners procomps.gg for enabling us to provide such a great tournament. And yeah, one more week for VAS. Tomorrow we've got the VRS. We're going to be seeing a smackdown of a couple of powerful teams in Group D that we have not seen before. So be excited for that. Check back in tomorrow at around 8 o'clock for that game. I have been Becky Rita. Joining me, of course, was Loki. And you all have a wonderful evening, and we'll catch you tomorrow for more League of Legends action.
Bye bye.